Hello!
Right when I'm choking.
Welcome to Jarviskjir Mind Over Matter. We are here. It feels like it's been a long time. It's only been 2 weeks, but it feels like forever. I don't know what's happening. Wibbly wobbly, timey wimey, etc. But
we're playing our favorite game, Jarviskjir.
According to the subject, to the text device.
No, there's no way it'll ever understand Jarviskjir. It'll never get it.
Jarviskjir.
Jarviskjir is actually reasonably accurate.
Sounds like your good mobile anime game, Jarviskjir.
Jarviskjir does sound like a mobile anime game. 100% accurate. But this is not a mobile anime game yet! Although, it did come up with a good one yesterday. I just need a small loan of $1 million to make it. So, get started, chat. Anyway, it feels like it's been a long time, probably because the last session ended on like a real, you know? We never, there's always a cliffhanger, but last session ended at an actual stopping point, so that might be why it feels like it's been a long time. You guys confronted the concubine, Bare Chest, who was posing as a dwarven member of Skarhane Kolgard's court, the king of Abu Nar. Oshun got totally enraptured by her, like not even a chance.
I need to up my game.
Yep.
Up your game.
Well, the game was pretty up.
Oh.
Any holds the goal, so
yeah. But then you fought the succubi, inside, outside, all the way around, including bonking Oshun on the head until she was no longer mind controlled. Actually, bonking her in it wasn't on the head. Botov slashed the back of your ankle, slashed your Achilles tendon. Way worse.
Did he?
Yeah.
Fucker.
Well, he's a rogue. He only knows
very
one
short
trick.
in comparison to you.
Yeah.
I need
Couldn't
those.
reach for heads.
So, you're going to have a limp for a bit.
That's not hard. Or wait.
You also successfully trapped the succubus within a soul gem. And that's actually where we ended off the last session.
Now tell me, Ollie, what exactly is the texture of this soul gem? Because I did just imagine it like a cheap jelly mold with just a face.
No. This is an important one because it's a fancy soul gem that Botov acquired for you. So it kind of looks like a big ovaloid gemstone, not particularly looking anything like maybe it's quartz. It's polished. It's clear. It was clear. It was almost like slightly cloudy, but almost completely clear for a gemstone, which is probably where the value came from. Now, of course, there is that kind of orangish, burning light inside it. Not the same, exactly, as the light of the imp stone or the dark smouldering of the Tarman's stone. But you do. That was early. Very, very early today. Time to Lord of the Rings reference, assumedly.
I haven't even got my Lord of the Rings cup.
So that's what we end off with, you containing the Bare Chest within the soul gem. So she is not returned to the Hells. She is contained, which was basically essential for this plan to work, and no doubt will lead to some kind of magical shenanigan.
Manigans, as I call them.
What happens, I wonder, if I mix the soul of a concubine with a radiant Evimari brain
and a dash of pepper?
That brain is.
I also
have you ever huffed a fiend's soul?
I mean,
Not yet.
what do you think Ashal kind of did to get the
That's true.
arm?
You don't have any nostrils.
Ways and means.
Ollie, do Ebamari have a sense of smell?
They smell bad.
They smell through their skin.
Ah.
So I was right. The true name of the Shal is God, what's her name? Fragile from Metal Gear. Just,
quiet.
Just naked. Just a Shal in a bikini,
Yeah. Don't worry, guys. This naked character. We have a
said
reason
smell,
for her
not
to
breathe.
be naked all the time. She breathes through her skin. Sure. Okay. Sure. So basically, we start off where we ended off the last session. That battle has just ended. With it, you guys kind of doing some pretty slick tricks all around.
just doing a sick ollie.
Me? We talked about this, not on the air. Some of you a bit scratched up, but also not devastatingly wounded, in part due to kind of dividing and conquering the fight, which was definitely deliberate.
Yes, that was totally what I meant to do.
So, what is it you guys want to do next? You do have a gaggle of NPCs in Harrenhal and Botov here.
We didn't manage to feed to the demon.
No.
Well, I imagine we leave Harrenhal to report all this to the church.
That was the reason why you brought her here.
I suppose we can either go with her to ensure accuracy of events, or we go home.
Oshun, insert obligatory no need to debrief comment to Harrenhal.
What? No,
Wait,
that completely didn't make sense to me.
Together.
Yeah. I haven't drawn a coffee either.
Harrenhal, are you sure you don't want us to accompany you? Are you sure that we don't need to be thoroughly debriefed?
You will need to be coming with me. You have been exposed to fiendish energies. You are currently filled with foul corruption that is making you act completely unnatural, filled with lust and gluttony and sexuality, such foul things that must be purified.
I must corrupt her.
Ashal hides the arm, literally imbued with fiendish energies.
Just literally like you have no hair, but you like brush back your hair.
Harrenhal, I assume this is the first usurper elf you've interacted with.
Yes.
They are a lecherous sort, prone to all manner of sexual appetites. Our companion here is
that is not misrepresentation at all.
Our companion here is simply average.
You could give me a persuasion check for this.
Right.
I've been imbued with the power of reproduction and love and maternal longing from our goddesses.
Well, I got a 14.
Mouth.
I would still feel more comfortable if we could complete the purification ritual. Who knows how that succubi wormed into your mortal body.
Yes.
I also think this is a good idea.
Purify me, Harrenhal.
Ashal gives Bogdan a look that, like, clearly that like it's surprising how obvious the emote on the tentacle is, but it's like Ashal wants to get like Oshun back a bit from just running off into the thing. Go get a purification ritual at the church.
From like over the height of Harrenhal, Oshun will just go.
Yeah.
As a faithful and diligent servant of the voice, I've never been purified in a ritual. What does it entail?
rubbing salts that are extremely uncomfortable.
You will be drowned in
flicked
sand
with water.
until all of the corrupt breath has left your body.
Oh, yes, please.
It is more dire than I believed, Bogdan. We should rush to the cathedral immediately.
Oh, yes.
Can you ensure that my companion will emerge unscathed?
Harrenhal looks at Ocean for a long while.
Just doing the whole... Have you read that comic that's just like, so, Jean Valjean, you found me.
Yeah, all the like cheesy, like pulpy pin-up poses on leaning on anything possible.
Leaning on Bogdan.
You know, I just realized that mind over matter, abbreviates to mom.
Yeah.
And I'm wondering if you did that on purpose.
Happy
The
accident.
Momcast.
To be fair, at the moment it's a bit matter over mind, but yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
And I'm actually like, Oshun's actually well, I can just say this. I'm actually interested in what effect a different goddess is the voice gendered?
Largely feminine.
What the effect of another goddess may have. It would be interesting. And I'm always open to experimentation.
Well,
This is
meet
when
us-
Harrenhal snaps handcuffs on you. Like,
Meet us back at the manor once you've been sufficiently purified. Harrenhal, it was a pleasure working alongside of you and fighting this evil.
hopefully not too much pleasure.
Wouldn't dream of it.
She will grumble and start.
You feel
Pull-
good about something, it obviously means that it's wrong.
Yes! Duh! And she will
Oshun's
start
gonna
pulling
take
Ocean
down
along.
the puritanical roots of this fucking place. It's gonna burn to the fucking ground. And she's just gonna be there on top of the smoldering ashes.
What happened to like 2 sessions ago where like, I want to find a peaceful union between our 2 cultures and religions? And now it is firmly,
It was as soon
want
as
to
you
burn it
like
down.
reinforced that Harrenhal is a puritanical cop, and I was like, you must die. You must die.
Well, what is it that you guys want to do as Ocean has been led away from the premises?
Just
I
grinning,
want to
like,
Literally going
ransack-
to horny jail.
Yeah, you're literally going to horny jail. First thing of the session. I approve. No, I want to immediately find any documents that Bear Chest has. Anything that we can use. Information-wise.
Ashal will assist. Do I have?
And I assume Botov will help as well.
Yeah. Botov is sort of like, well, I'm glad we'll have a chance to loot this place of everything of its value.
I will twin spell enhance ability intelligence on myself and Bogdan, so we can both have advantage investigation checks.
Hell yeah.
I just love the idea of you're like a moving company. You just move everything out and you just take all of her stuff.
Okay. Investigation checks with advantage then to start searching through the house. They're pretty good. This is a large villa. And it becomes quite apparent with a lot of hidden nooks and crannies. Some of the hidden walls clearly require either physical or magical keys to open. And searching for them would take quite a lot of time. There is a hidden wall that, as Charles, you can clearly tell in Bear Chest's bedroom, which is, of course, a grand chamber with all sorts of comforts and luxuries and maybe an ocean-shaped impression on the bed.
Like Wile E. Coyote.
It's like incredibly memory foam. There is behind one of the walls, almost feels like the entire wall could move and you can even feel for where the tiny little keyholes are hidden within the pattern of the wallpaper. But you can't open it without some kind of scheme. When it comes to things like paperwork and things like that, you do actually find some things. The sorts of things that Bare Chest had in her home were mostly about the Church of Maces, the military of Abanar, and its deployment, training, capabilities.
I want all that.
Yeah. A lot of it would slightly couldn't be related to the War of the Surface, a little bit to the east of Abanar, where the hold of the surface is. But mostly it's occupational soldiers that they're looking at. There's also a torture chamber filled with blood. But there's no one in it right now. And any other servants of the house you find are very confused and don't exactly know what's happening. They don't know where they are, they don't know who you are. And I imagine you just kind of like gently coaxed them to the street.
Be nicer, Charles.
I mean, if Ashara was feeling peckish, then Bogdan will just pretend like he didn't see that.
I was gonna say,
yeah,
this is a free meal.
Charles definitely pulling a few memories from these people.
The bad ones.
Charles will use it as practice to try and refine their ability to sip.
It's a good
Probably
idea.
isn't very good at that, but
Yeah, but that's a point towards your training.
Yeah.
To consume the more negative memories from their minds, which are already fogged and clouded as is. And then you can just push them out into the street. There you go. Find whatever life you had.
If I point out this specific hidden panel in the master bedroom to Botov, can Botov work anything out about it?
Well, there's a good deal of enchantment here. It was quite hard to pick this lock without its key. Which is quite fitting for a succubus's lock.
I am loath to leave something like this for the... Well,
I can try. I doubt the church would be able to open this either. They may just find the keys, however. They're probably hidden around this house.
Concern.
If they were on the succubus's person, they would have likely fallen to the floor when you captured her.
Yes.
Did they?
Not that I observed, but I was not looking closely. I will go back and check. Although the church finding these things is not a bad outcome, I would merely wish to know what is here, and if it is any use to us.
I will give it a go. It is not impossible. Really improbable.
Be cautious, and do not, and I'm sure you need no telling, but do not set off any traps or risk your own well-being for it. You're more valuable than the information here.
Oh. So sweet.
22 is actually enough for him to crack open the doorway. Not to open it completely. The door required many keys, but luckily you don't need all the keys to open it just a little bit. So Botov can kind of open, I guess, like a 2-foot crack in the door, and it's basically the entire wall slides, and it reveals what is clearly a treasure chamber, but one of you would have to squeeze in.
Well,
I am a
shark
very
has no
thin
bones.
person, yes.
A shark's a cuttlefish.
If Charles is going to squeeze in there, I want to cast protection from evil and good on him in case there's any lingering spell
Aw.
traps. So, boop.
Good idea. Give me
Such
an
affection.
acrobatics.
Oh, lovely. Come on. Oh, I was worried there for a moment. It was nearly a 3.
You can squeeze into the treasure chamber and find a pile of coinage from various places, but mostly this city. And a couple other things as well. You know, the sort of things that someone would keep in a hoard. Some chalices, you know, some jewelry that's definitely meant to be on somewhere on someone's anatomy, but the Shal can't work out where, despite their intelligence. That sort of thing. So there's actually a pretty substantial amount of coin here, which I imagine you can start basically, if you want to, you could start taking it out. Yeah.
You swim through it.
It's not that much. But maybe. I'm gonna say it's 2,300 gold in there. That's not counting art items which you can sell later.
You said 3,000, how much?
2,300.
2,300. You want me to record that?
Yeah, go ahead. Make it a sort of project fund, I suppose.
Yeah.
The project being overthrown the current king, but...
And also that clay you like to play with.
There's so art objects. There is this set of chalices. There is extremely ornate jewelry. Would there be anything more in there? I think a lot of the really. I don't think she would have really brought much weird stuff in here. Just kind of collected money over time, you know, while serving. Yeah. Just money. Money,
I'll pass
dollar
that
bills.
back through and squeeze out. I can't imagine there is, because I don't think she was of a very arcane persuasion in any way. But if Azshar has a wander around, does anything and has a look through the various rooms, does anything seem interesting magic-wise? Like any tomes or any magical items or anything, or reagents?
Give me an Arcana check, I think, for this.
Is this within the same hour for advantage
Yeah.
from enhancement?
There is subtle enchantment within this house in many places. Be it as simple as enchantments upon the pillows in the servants' bedchambers to keep their minds malleable, or more gruesome, such as a set of enchanted torturer's tools in the torture chamber. There's also a trapped doorway that leads to seemingly the pantry. You don't know why it would be trapped with some kind of arcane ward, but it is. Before you recognize before you wander in. None of you had any reason to go in the pantry before. When it comes to just other malignant magical energies, yeah, well, there's a stench of fiendishness about this place once you've grown attuned to it. And there are hidden in little areas in the bookshelves and things like that. Parts of fiendish summoning rituals. Mostly
I thought she was eating people.
in their... It all seems tied to a particular plane of the hells. It's something that you could research if you were willing to take the risk to learn more about wherever either this succubus came from or served.
Oh, Azshar would definitely be like taking copious notes and on all these pieces of rituals and such like. They would actually also leave little notes around the place because the church are presumably going to come back and look through here.
Yeah,
They
you
will
want to
leave
leave
notes
enough
saying-
demonic evidence.
Yeah. They will they will literally like leave notes next to the pillars and say, investigate this. This is how they were controlled, just for more, make the church's job easier in finding this evidence against.
While he's doing that, me and Baltop will reseal that. You know, no need for the church to know we opened it.
Okay, yeah, sure.
So I have no.
After all, we don't want to pay taxes.
Conspicuous absence of a post-it note on that wall.
Yeah. Anything else you guys want to do before you head out?
I don't think so.
It depends. Do we think the trap on the pantry was to help her maintain her figure? No snacking after 10, you know, or else you get a crossbow to the throat. Pretty effective.
She was thick.
She was thick.
I do kind of
She's
want to
dwarf.
try and get in there, but at the same time, have we got any way of getting in there without like?
I mean, you said risk and learning in a sentence together. I mean, that's pretty sure like a Charles' MO.
Yeah, pretty much. The question is there a way of getting in the pantry that doesn't set off? I wish I had Dispel Magic or something. Except only our party member who has Dispel Magic is not currently here because they are getting purified for being lustful.
I mean, thank God, but if it's a deck save, I volunteer not to go in.
Rock, paper, scissors.
Well,
Can't you send one of the meat shields?
We don't know if it's a reoccurring trap, but yeah, one of the fugue state servants just push him into the pantry.
I mean, if Bogdan is willing to suggest that, Charlotte isn't going
You
to
actually want to just get one of the day servants of the
Yeah.
house and push them in? Sure.
Yeah.
Oh,
Shoon's gonna kick
You-
your ass.
the party conscience is not here.
You shove them into the pantry and they're very confused and they kind of look around and nothing seems to happen.
I wonder if the members of the household are exempt from the trap.
Well, fortunate for this one.
What trap?
Yes.
What trap?
What trap?
You're confused. No one's in trap.
They slowly trudge away.
You know, I can see why my rival took interest in this concubus. These servants are ideal. They don't remember anything once you dispelled them. And they're utterly loyal. I must not... Write that down. Let's find out how she did this.
No, they put terrible tea in front of you and then leave you there for hours because they've forgotten about you.
That's the thing, you
It's
get
like a
obedient
terrible
servants,
waiting room.
but not good servants. But that's
I mean,
why
I've
she
made
had like a
notes
bunch
on
of them.
the-
I don't
I've
know.
made
Maybe a
notes on
good
the-
servant is an obedient servant.
If you want burnt porridge for breakfast.
I wouldn't make all the servants, drudges.
But then the seeds of revolution.
No, you just pay the other ones a lot.
Yeah, you pay the other ones.
Because you're not paying these ones. That's how it works.
Is it worth the risk for one of us to enter the pantry?
With our healer absent? Perhaps not.
Well, you say that, but I can perform healative arts. I might not be able to lift a curse, but if one of us was harmed, I could staunch wounds at least.
You said this trap was magical?
If there is a magical aura of it, it appears to be a trap, yes. The thought did occur to me that perhaps the fiendish essence that is currently housed within my arm might allows some sort of recognition from the spell in the same way the servants do. But that might be wishful thinking. The imp that, or the thing that caused this was nowhere near this house.
True. Well, I have no means to revive you should you cross the threshold and become incapacitated.
I'll hand Bogdan a healing potion, and I'm just going to, before I go in, just in case I need to, I am going to use bloodletting to get myself some blood points back. It will actually do damage to me, but I want the blood points more than I want the health. And then I will cross the threshold. I will go arm first, just in case it helps.
You lean inside with the burned, fiendishly ringed arm first, and you can feel going through some kind of barrier, but it doesn't trigger recognizing fiendish energies within your body.
Wow, you did that while I was distracted. I just remembered that I have racials that I should probably be using. Like, oh, I don't know. I can cast invisibility on myself once per day. That might have been handy.
Yes, theory proven right. Ashar would, like, when once inside, would turn to Bogdan and says, I thought it was a long shot, but it appears my theory was correct. I believe it recognized the fiendish energies.
I just love the idea of a Shah fist bumping in this pantry.
I will attempt to discover why this place is trapped. Investigate. Search.
Investigation check.
Still within the hour, or is it pushing it
I
now?
mean, it's tight, but I'll allow it.
Nice.
This does appear to be a normal pantry that things are hidden within. It is a large. Well, yes, the sweets are hidden somewhere. It's a large pantry for a manor that only has one noble. Although it does seem like this place was used for entertaining guests often. One such thing you find quite quickly, is a key. No doubt one of the keys that would have opened the treasure room. Which is not very useful now that you broke in. But there are other things as well. There are potions and oils. So when it comes to potions, noticeably, basically there is a slight false wall in one of the shelves where a kind of potion decanting is taking place. But you can't work out, like, you can see the vials, and something is dropping into them, filling them with energy. But where that magic is coming from, it's not quite clear. And it also seems like whatever is dropping into them is running out. You're seeing the last few drops, probably tied to the fiend herself. But you do get some extra goodies. There's going to be 2 potions of superior healing.
That's amazing. I'll put these in my inventory for now.
Yep.
Okay.
A oil of slipperiness. Yeah.
We know what she used that for.
Yeah.
To grease her bike.
And there is also one of the vials is in a locket. It's got this whole jewel contraption around it, and it doesn't seem like it's complete yet. The vial is nearly full, but clearly whatever enchanted item this is intended to be is not quite finished.
Okay. Is it linked up to the decanting stuff then?
Yeah, but the decanting stuff is basically only half of the stuff it should be, right? Because the energy is coming from some other place.
Okay.
But it is linked up to be, finished sometime, but it will never finish through it if it was left here.
I presume that the decanting stuff would not be something Is the decanting stuff small enough to pick up and carry? No. Okay.
Not really.
Ashal will make sketches of the decanting stuff as best they can, and will then take you said it was a vial and a locket.
Mm-hmm.
I will take that.
What? Oh, you are taking the oil of slipperiness.
Oh, of course. Yeah.
But you're already so gooey.
Someone else can use it to become gooey.
Ashal makes a slip and slide. It's just like, yay!
This oil could create endless pleasure. Whee! Yeah.
And upon retrieving that, we'll exit the pantry once again, arm first.
Mm-hmm. And with that, you pretty much milk this place dry, and can get heading home. Meanwhile, Oshun is dragged through the streets as a criminal, which is kind of part of the point. The public naming and shaming, although you're not named, but yeah, she's being dragged.
That one.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's not named, which is good because fortunately she really blends in here.
Yes, I was gonna say.
Yeah.
The thing is, she's so much taller that I guess they would try and drag her, and she'd just take steps and just be like.
There is a
Yeah, right.
there is a cord on the manacles. Don't worry, we thought about this. Sometimes they have to.
But you can't.
When you're taken to the church, you are taken to a specific area, which is clearly for the purification of sinners. It's a dungeon. Let's all be honest. Though not as dark and dank as it perhaps could be. A chamber is prepared where there is a table that you lie upon. They have to do some adjusting to get it big enough for you. Yes, that is being dealt with while there's a lot of paperwork that's happening here.
I'm just going to inquire. So, what does this process involve? What are the steps? What are you trying to achieve?
There is one step. You will lay on this, and you'll put your head within this box. The box will fill with hot sand until you have no more sinful breath left in your body.
But
Yeah, obviously.
why not my lungs? Why not cover the respiratory system? What happens if I breathe on you?
Lust is not an airborne disease.
Otherwise, the whole city would be infected by now.
I don't know. When my wife walks by, I know.
But can I study Harrenhal and try and just get a read on her wants or needs or anything about her?
Her what?
AI DM.
You can make an insight check. Yeah.
Yeah.
As you're laying on this table and they're preparing a big enough box for your head.
Good luck.
The hair has to be pulled through a thing on the bottom, but it's basically a massage table, but you are on it backwards.
I stole all the
Maybe
good
not.
rolls, I think.
As Harrenhal looks down at you here, as a paladin purifying a sinner, I don't think you want to read what's going on inside her head.
I can assume it's complicated and frustrated.
Yeah. Eventually, there will be the process will be ready, and you will be locked in place. And there is like no. Oh, are you ready? But you are a sinner, and you are locked into the box, and it is slowly filled with sand around your head. I am going to need you to give me a Constitution saving throw.
Oh, I don't like this.
You're in a church. I can always bring you back.
Deeply.
I was about to say, Ollie, have you ever killed a player by suffocating them for being too lustful? Because this could be.
There's always a first time.
It's a strange first.
Not rolling good.
You know, yeah, you're just one too high, really.
I'm probably just gonna get like another 6, and it's just like, cursed.
The process is painful, more painful than you thought. You almost didn't quite understand it, but when
Sucks.
when your head is in an enclosed box and filled with sand, there is no more air to breathe. Whatever air you have left is painfully drawn out. There's just enough through the sand, but you don't just stop breathing. It is a painful, slow process, and adjoining to that is the sand is hot. Burns. It's not burning, but it is hot. You are going to pass out. You are going to be unconscious.
I was gonna ask if I could like attempt to meditate, and I know I can't commune with the voice or anything yet, but maybe commune with Lady. I can't commune with Lady of Rest, but like
you did
is there
fail
some
your save,
meditation?
but I would allow a wisdom save. I'll allow a wisdom save to try and. Your body may be failing you,
It's
but
like,
maybe your
this is
immortal
going
soul
bad.
will not.
Time to
Here comes another 6.
repress.
I want it to be a 6. 13.
It's another unlucky number.
At the very least, you don't have an anxiety attack while they're trying to drown you to death.
That's the most you can wish for.
You end up recognizing that you are going to pass out and just have to put your trust that Harrenhal will revive you when you do. And
Bitch.
a few moments later, you are revived with a hand to the chest in like a half CPR motion, but it's also lay on hands. This is a very physical kind of magic.
I don't know how she would react to that. My instinct is that she would grab and crush, but she is the like.
She can grab
of motherhood
and just not crush yet. Like, go to crush, but then kind of recognize what's happening, perhaps.
Yeah, I want to both hands and like see who this person is before I crush.
It's
Because-
Harrenhal reviving you.
Tempted to crush. Can her like bones creak a little?
The armor creaks. She is doing this in
Okay.
her full plate. The armor creaks at that, but
Because she's used to people trying to kill her after that.
and Harrenhal will just kind of like brush sand out of your hair, like, and you are now pure, and anything that Succubi has done to you will no longer risk your immortal soul.
Do you mind if I test that? I so want to be what the voice is guiding me towards being. And I feel as though you are the most reliable person I can test those bounds of dedication to.
We can start prayer immediately, yes. I think there's an excellent psalm about this exact situation that we should begin with. It is the psalm of endurement.
I press my body against her.
She immediately just
not aggressively.
but she is a prude and is immediately gonna hop back with more like energy and dexterity than you've ever seen.
Oh, are you not hugging people in this community? You don't hug?
No.
Oh. Well, I apologize.
Very well.
Well, I'll be on my way. Thank you. Just hand on the shoulder. So much.
I'm glad you agree with me that this was necessary.
I'll see you, Harrenhal.
Goodbye. And you can head back home. A little sandier than you were before. So,
Just
you guys...
sit at the table.
Yeah! Tea time. Back at the old Alabas place.
You like come in and there's just both of us just like happily sitting at the table, like Ashal looking over some notes on fiend summoning and Bompton like
Reading those military deployment notes.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
with little glasses on.
They got paperwork and you've got suffocated.
Still horny.
I almost died.
Is that a yes or a no?
I don't think I've ever felt this before. Where
well, it's not horny then.
Yeah, that's true. It is. Although I did see some illustrations while I was in Narashiro of the combination of the two. But anyway.
I want to kill someone.
Oh, it worked. Praise the voice.
I think I hate this place. I don't know what to do with that because I love everyone, but I hate this place.
So, do you want to stick around longer?
I want them to die. Can we? No, that's wrong.
So, what did they
That's
do to
wrong.
you?
I suffocated to death in hot sand.
Oh, sand. I don't like sand.
It gets everywhere.
Yeah, exactly. And it's so coarse.
That's the Star Wars reference off the bingo cards.
That's pretty good.
As soon as he mentioned hot sand, I'm like, don't waste it, don't waste it, don't waste it, don't waste it.
I'm glad that you waited for the prime moment there.
In character.
Well done.
I do not believe that hating something is wrong.
It makes me feel bad. I feel unwell. I feel as though I have drunk poison and stared into her face and wished her to die. But I am the one that is hurt.
Hate
I
is...
don't like it. Take it away from me. I hate
Well,
this place.
I can't do that, but I should tell you that hate, it truly is your first time experiencing it. It's baggage that you can do without. Anger's good, but hate, it's too heavy. I would lose that. Makes you lose perspective. Makes you act irrationally.
Well, I was guided by the principle that you love enough and change happens. And Harrenhal is a paragon of an institution that needs to be loved. And they suffocated me. That bitch! I want to smash a chair.
You can smash a chair. Give me an athletics check.
Oh, don't do this to me, Ollie.
Nat one.
Well, you've got to remember
Get a
that Oshun
splinter.
isn't actually strong. Oshun
no.
is just big.
She is just big.
No, yeah, you know what? The chair goes across the room. It's dramatic.
That chair has been in my family for 150 years.
Oshun's going to stamp on it.
That's the
Let's
anger
buy more
noise.
chairs.
I don't feel
Grr,
very
arg! I am angry.
I wonder if hate is what Lefura feels on the surface.
Probably. She seems quite irrational.
very unwell.
I've never met her, but from what I've heard, she seems to be a lunatic. Anyone hell-bent on that much wanton destruction has something wrong with them.
Do we, well, I suppose we should count our gains then and plan our next move.
How much you left?
As Shell fishes out the superior healing potions and the oil of slipperiness.
Ooh.
I have some ideas, and I believe I've determined our next move. We have eliminated Bear Chest, which is one of the 2 allies that we will need to remove. We need to gain the support of farmers and distillers. But I believe before that, it would be nice, especially if we continue to fight otherworldly threats, if I were better armed. And there is a weapon waiting for me at the Bastardon family. And a new ally would probably help. So I believe we should leave the city and make for the Bastardons, make ourselves known, have introductions, reclaim my family weapon, and then we shall go about seeking out distillers.
Yes.
Sounds like a plan.
It is worth noting that although we may want to eliminate Scarhane's other ally, that will likely be more difficult. The information suggested that they will stay by Scarhane's side. We may not be able to deal with them until we confront Scarhane himself.
That had crossed my mind. We're not quite there yet. The opportunity to kill Uberrock may present itself, but not at this moment.
Further, we have just achieved the grand feat of revealing a concubus, turning them over in a sense to the church, and not only any concubus, but one linked closely to Scarhane himself.
Yes, we should let this scandal brew.
Should we attach your name to it? Now that there is no record of the curse, I'm sure a few well-placed rumors spread by a coin or otherwise before we leave the city, we may come back to a city clamoring for you to take the Blackjaw.
I think that's. I think that risk outweighs the reward. I mean, the reward outweighs the risk. So let's do that. How much coin do you think we would need to sow those seeds?
The seeds are a good idea. You don't suppose that this Blackjaw Scarhane, I was trying to read it and I was like, will retaliate by saying that you had positioned her there?
He would be hard pressed to prove that, considering I haven't been in this city for several decades.
And that she is a recent appearance. I have no doubt that he will try to worm his way out of it one way or another, but the evidence seems pretty conclusive.
The only downside to this is that we will expose ourselves to Scarhane, but I'm alright with it. The more he tries to act on that information, the better we look.
I am not an expert in currency or rumor, I cannot help there. Perhaps that is something to leave in the hands of Botov. It might even be wise for him to remain here to make sure that the rumors follow the correct course. Potentially, tackle any counter rumors that those in power wish to spread.
That could be.
There's a few things we should do before we leave the city, but our next point of action should be to make rendezvous with the Bastardons and find allies there. Botov, where are you?
No. He's at the window smoking.
It was the chair that he was sitting on.
He's on the floor.
Just like legs splayed out, just
It's like it's an NPC, but like
he's glitched out.
You've made it.
Dragonborn.
Yes, that's the one.
So, do you think you can? I mean, you're a cartographer. You have inroads. Do you think you could sow some rumors here in our absence?
It will not take much gold to get people talking. 100 gold, and I can have irrelevant people questioning exactly what happened. Whatever story Skarhane creates.
Bogdan will just count it out and slide it over to him.
He nods and, taps his pipe. Gets up to go get started.
Botov, feel free to use the manor as your base of operations.
Of course.
I wish to pay Swiftroute a visit and there's a word I want to use. I can't think of it, so I'll have to settle for a less valuable one. Order a suit of armor from him.
Commission.
That's the one. That's the word.
Yeah. We know the word commission.
Yeah, I bet you. Yeah.
Yes, you do. Bogdan, I was wondering if I could have a word with you.
Right now.
Do you wish me?
Have you simmered down enough?
Room?
No.
Because you were talking about destroying the city that I will have the seat of my power in, and so have you calmed down?
In a way, it is sunk inside me in a manner that is uncomfortable and unpleasant. However, I can't function at the moment.
You need to get rid of that. Go scream at a pillow.
That is precisely what I wanted to talk to you about. I don't ask anything from you in order to reseat you at the head of this community, estate. Now, I don't have the word.
Country.
Yes.
Kingdom.
Yes. However, now I would make a request of you, if I may.
Okay. Do you want to do this in private, or?
No. Once you are on the throne, if you could establish a reputable and regularly checked confidential practice within your religious institutions, that your heads of religious services might talk to a professional confidant and have skills established that make them more healthy in their mind and their spirit. From what I have seen, they are not happy and functioning people, and unhappy and dysfunctional religious leaders. I mean, we have seen what damage that can do.
What else of my supreme authority would you have me carve out for your whims?
My whims? I am an arbiter of love, and the only way I can imagine that healing coming to your influential leaders is through them loving themselves. Hurt people, and hurt people in power. I say this for the sake of you and your people, as well.
I understand. I know you, Oshun, and I know your heart is in a good place, but do keep in mind that I cannot upend the established order, and if I do, it will take some time.
Of course.
I will make no promises, but I will take it under advisement.
Thank you. Get
Now,
for some help.
I shall go to Swift Route.
Do I want to know if anyone else wanted to go with or whatever. But what kind of armor do you want commissioned?
Flames.
What are yes,
hot rod flames.
Yeah, and racing stripes. No,
Speed holes.
What is within his ability and what it, budget withstanding, obviously.
Well, he is not a magical forger himself.
Okay. And I just want some.
He can make things better than standard in subtle ways, but yes.
Okay. I want a suit of plate armor,
Mhm.
and I want it to be functional, but I want it to have iconography of my house.
Which would be...
Oh, no.
You can think of it over time. Because it can look however you want, Skarhane's armor, the similar suit of armor Skarhane has, is meant to look very similar to the Blackjaw. And the crown. The crown almost looks like it's made of, like, dark bone and metal merged together. So Skarhane's armor has a very similar look to that. Your armor can look however you wish. And you don't need to decide now.
Okay. Well, I think for the detailing, I want it to have a marbled white look and it appear soft.
Yeah,
Basically,
that's definitely
make it
within the
look
realm. Yeah.
like alabaster, since we are House Alabast.
That's definitely the kind of thing that's within his realm of, like, beyond regular forge abilities.
Okay. How much?
That would be 1,500. The bonuses are essentially in having him do it. Your family, the last remaining member of your family forges.
Okay, done.
Excellent. Anything else you guys want to do in a city before you head out on a little jaunt?
Set fire to the church.
It's a big church. Most
Burn
of
it
it's stone.
down.
I don't think I've got anything.
Okay. In which case, after a short break, you'll head out.
Snack time.
You will be back after some snacks! hello. You guys,
tray bake.
you guys, regardless of cake or not, can go and get your beetle from the stable. And
do I assume I have that armor?
I assume you wanted it being made over time. It's like to come back with
Oh,
it.
okay. Works for me. I mean, how long will it take?
The trip
days,
back
weeks?
and forth will only be a couple of days. So
Let's do that.
when you're back, it'll be ready, is what I thought the
Nice.
plan was. And that makes sense to me. You can get your beetle and you
give
can
Beetle a big hug.
You can give the beetle a big hug. The beetle is fine for hugs. And get back on the road. On the road again. You don't have very far to go, mind. You're not going as far as you were before. It's probably a 4-day trip. And then you're there, and then probably a 4-day back trip. So long, but not as long as most of the other things. And honestly, with how tense things have been in the city, maybe some time on Beetleback will do you good. Is there anything any of you want?
Going to meditate a long time.
Ollie, your microphone suddenly, the quality.
Oh, that's not just us, then. It must be.
Oh, am I
Yeah.
crusty for some reason?
It's like very
Yeah.
crusty and poppy. I'm not sure if that's just our end.
I'm
or
gonna
if
plug it out and back in.
Okay.
So we've got a crusty microphone with Ollie and a jittery webcam for us.
High quality production.
Yep. Boom. I can't hear that.
I know you can't. It's me.
Well, last week I picked up
Ollie's
my
telling us everything he thinks about us.
I picked up my headset and it just was broken, like in half.
Oh, my
I've
ears
had that.
come off this one all the time. I hate it.
Yeah, it's like so. This is my spare.
So you should be
Heavy
able to hear me now.
Yes.
Yes. Seems fine for us.
Great.
Sounds great. Apparently on stream it was fine. It was just for us.
Ah.
It's fixed now. Carry on.
Who
Yeah.
gives a shit?
Ogden is just gonna chill.
Just gonna-
Oh, I assume we got a long rest. Yeah.
No. Well, you will, but you didn't get a
No,
long rest on the
fuck
first.
you.
You would have left still a little tired because during the first night, Ocean's meditation does go to a strange place. Occasionally, while an elf meditates, and you are in some ways an elf, they dream. Often these dreams are of past events, but this is not. This is a very particular dream.
I don't
Where
like this.
You have Harrenhal in your grip. Your anger
Oh, shit.
can be truly released. You have a particular weapon in hand. It is like a scythe-like blade on the end of a long chain, and you seem to know how to use it without any kind of issue to cause this individual as much pain as you wish.
I think in the dream she would just like keep like beating her, but then like reviving her with the healing. Because she like heals, and it's probably one of those dream things where it's like you kind of are aware that she keeps healing, but you're not quite sure why. But like, yeah, it's all mixed in.
It's absolutely one of those things. Great. So after that, you guys have a long rest after Ocean's torture dream.
More meditation.
Would Ocean like come out of trance in any like in
Distress.
well, like yes, distress, that's the word.
So
Everyone-
sweaty.
It needs word help today.
Yes.
It's that kind of day.
I'm just wondering because Ashal obviously also trances and would probably notice if Ocean came out like
Enters your dream.
sort of thing, like in
I don't know. Maybe
Clearly.
you don't wake up as if it's a nightmare. Maybe you enjoyed it and it's not a problem at all.
From like my experience with nightmares, I never did the anime thing where you like fling back the covers and go
bolt upright.
"Brrr!" It was always like I wake up just normally, and then like I'm like still present in the dream, and then I get really sad. I'm just like used to I used to until I was with Ian, and then for some reason, like I had a terrible dream last night. It was really weird. A bit like the dream you're describing.
I hope I wasn't the one being.
Yeah, I was about to say, but instead of Harrenhal, it was you, Ollie.
It's a horrible dream, and you were there. I would want to know.
No.
I would expect you to tell me if you had a torture dream about me.
I would tell you, absolutely, because it would probably be a good story. But just like the awareness of lots of blood, and then you wake up and you're like, that wasn't comfortable. But when I wake up now, it's just like, that was interesting, no matter how fucked up the dreams are, which is nice, because they used to be really bad.
But
anyway,
is Ocean in that level of comfort right now?
Nope.
No. So Ocean is...
Just probably do some crying. Just like...
Hold the baby.
Then Ashal would not notice.
Probably not hold the baby. They don't want to like transpose any of that shit onto an infant.
Fair enough.
Yeah. Hopefully someone else is taking care of the baby, or they're like...
The baby is in like a hammock up in the palanquin. They're fine. Did you take Catcher Owl with you? You're the only NPC you have available?
Yes.
For adventures?
Because I love Catcher Owl.
Unless Bogdan says no, I think yes.
Catcher Owl's the main character.
Catcher Owl can also take care of the baby. This has been shown before. Despite the fact that Catcher Owl is a swarm of rats.
Ironically, the second best mother in the group.
I was literally gonna say the exact same thing. Excellent. In which case,
bury her face in her hair.
Yeah, and Catcher Owl is taking care of the baby, and so the baby does not notice.
Good. Don't want to give them any scars before they can even walk.
Well, that would be
what's character,
appropriate for your culture at the very least.
Got to get them used to the usurper way. Tell them they're gonna get a chocolate and then don't.
Just smack them.
Oh, betrayal.
Yeah, betrayal is part of your religion. The journey is... It starts easy, leaving the Wall of Abanar towards the Bastardon Fortress. Or Basteron? Bastardon?
The bastard.
Basteron. They live in a fortress called Garab-Ul. You've actually seen the area of it because it is to the west of the main road you traveled down towards, on essentially a cliffside. So you go off of main roads onto this, climbing up this mountain, essentially, but an underground mountain, towards Garab-Ul. There is farmland around, being tilled and worked, but the journey is largely uneventful and safe and secure. Garab-Ul is a very totalitarian-looking fortress. Much like a lot of Deep Dwarven construction, it's very practical, very square shapes, although there are often rounded areas at the tops of towers and things.
What's that architecture?
It's a bit brutalist, yeah. It's a bit brutalist. This is very clearly a fortress designed for wartime as well. Although it has been a long time since then. Due to the time of year, there is a lot of trade, and the portcullis of the fortress is raised, and people are coming and going, mostly with baskets of collected fungal thread and things like that, that they trade. it's very much like a castle town, you know. There's the outer walls, and then there's kind of areas of the fort inside, and then there are buildings, which are much like the other dwarven buildings you've seen. Huh?
Fucking seagulls.
No.
We're underground.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. No, sorry. Just castles in England, like.
Do they always have? I've never noticed this.
Seagulls have recently moved in on our block of flats. Like they weren't here a month ago, and now there's like
Wake
regular.
up!
Oh, I know. Waking up to the sound of seagulls. Very few pleasures left in my life.
There's also hilariously, they seem to have a particular favorite perch, which is literally directly above the exit of the building, which is considerably more covered in bird crap now than it used to be. So at some point, someone is going to leave the building and just going to get crapped on by a seagull. It will happen.
Not it.
You
Just
don't
as
get to
that
choose.
aside.
Your entire country is like
Underground
coastal,
seagulls.
isn't it?
Yeah, we could pretty
In
much have
comparison to
seagulls
America.
show up anywhere. Yeah.
We're in the middle of fucking land.
Yeah, but the seagulls don't care, even though they're seagulls.
Seagulls have no god and no honor.
Yes, that is, essentially true. I'm just checking some stuff first before we continue. Fair enough.
It's the best meme.
There is a statue within the center of the castle courtyard that is, it's quite detailed, quite imposing, quite old. I mean, talk about bird crap, there's definitely some bat crap on it, but they make some effort to clean it. Yeah, instead of seagulls, you just have bats down here, I guess. Of all kinds of varieties.
I don't know what noise bats make.
That's
bat noise.
That's essentially, yeah, that's close enough. The statue is of a dwarven soldier, basically standing on and crushing with a mace a humanoid bat-like creature. Funny to mention bats. The statue has an amulet, and the statue, it's all kind of grey stone, but the amulet is bright red, the center of it, as if it were a gemstone or something. And it's one of those things where it's a raised statue, and there's kind of like a fountain around it, and people are around, doing their day-to-day business. And there's, at first, no raised eyebrows about your presence in the fortress. Especially during trade time.
Okay. Is there a tavern?
Of course, there is a tavern. There has to be.
Okay, I think we'll stop there, and I'll inquire about Ulfast, who I sent ahead of us.
Good idea. You can swing open the saloon doors to this tavern and head inside. It is relatively busy. It's trade time, right? So there are merchants and things. Essentially everyone here is a deep dwarf. This isn't so much a place where you'd notice other people. It's the occasional undergoblin working with the farmers, but the majority of people here are deep dwarves, by and large. So the door is definitely not big enough for Ocean. You're gonna have to stoop. And Ashal, of course, turns some heads as well. So there is maybe that thing where there's kind of quiet in the tavern for a bit, and then people just get back to what they're doing because they don't really care. They're just mildly interested for a moment. You actually can find Allfast at the tavern, who will be a bit surprised, but will kind of get up and motion for you to join them.
I trust you've been well since we last met?
Oh yes, it's been, they've been treating me quite well here. I wasn't expecting you to, arrive so soon. I was expecting to come back and tell you, but, it's good for you to come.
Good. We took care of our business in the wall, and we are ready to meet the Bastodons. How are we in that?
They have been waiting for an alabast to reclaim something of theirs for quite some time, and they seem quite glad to have you visiting. They were very excited when I said that you would be coming.
Excellent. Then you shall introduce me. Let's take a meal before we head out, so we can rest and stretch our legs.
He'll do a little motion, and some plates will be, served up of it's mushrooms. You're gonna be eating mushrooms, steamed, at the very least. And you can have a bit of a meal after being on the road for a little bit of time before Alfast will show you around the fort to find Rygar Basteron, who is essentially in a similar position to you, Bogdan, in that they are essentially in charge of at least the things that, at least family business. Might not be in charge of the fort itself, but family business, very much so.
Okay.
You would meet them on the steps to the castle proper. They are they have a big smile. They are a kind of typical deep dwarven warrior caste member. They have a big black beard and a big smile upon seeing you, and does kind of open his arms wide and is like, an alabast! It has been a long time since one has graced our fortress. It has been a long time indeed.
Yes. It is an honor to return and to be greeted as such. It's been a while since anyone has spoken my family name with such admiration.
Oh, that should dearly change, my comrade.
I want to insight check him.
Yeah. Why?
Trust.
He genuinely seems glad to see you. It seems like the legends have passed. He also doesn't seem... he's a himbo. Is all I really need to tell you. But definitely at least knows his legends. It's a damn shame that they don't treat you with enough respect in the city, then. But you'll have respect here. Unless, of course, you want to fly under the bat patrols, which I would understand.
No, I've come to meet you and your family and discuss the future.
Yeah, excellent. And then it'll be a future I'm glad to hear. Come inside. We will have ale and victuals ready. The fortress looks like a vampire would live here.
But like a cool
Covered in
vampire?
pillows.
Like a cool vampire. There's dramatic paintings, wall sconces, vaulted sharp ceilings,
Have
not
you
so
seen
much
What We Do in the
sparkles.
Shadows?
Not the movie, but not the show.
Just someone, there's like a DJ deck in one side.
No DJ deck. He will lead you to a grand, like, entertaining hall where there's a big stone table, with sort of metal accents and things, and we'll have ale poured from a big old keg in the wall and things like that. I mean, this is a proper dwarven fort, but with a very old tradition to it. In largely a good way, you know what I mean. he will clink mugs with you, Bogdan, and we'll check to see if you two both want mugs of ale too.
Ashal would politely refrain.
Oshun will probably sip something. She'll probably just say, like, whatever is the house cask, I suppose.
Excellent! Big mug.
It's like a
Frosting.
thimble. No.
You're not that big.
I want to be bigger.
Well then,
Yeah,
tell me of
hobbits.
this grand
Yay.
future you're telling me of.
Well, is it just him?
Largely. There are like servants in the house and things, but he's the one talking to you right now.
Okay. I have put into motion and will reclaim the Blackjaw.
I like slap you on the back. Ah, the cold god has sat and defiled that throne with a disdainful existence for too long.
Agreed. I have found allies, advisors, and we have begun the process of changing the guard.
I would like another, please.
Oh yeah, there like someone would
Nice.
rush up and refill your
But I
mug.
did not want to reassume the Blackjaw without first reaffirming our long-standing friendship.
Our families fought together in the Grey Blood War, and we will always be loyal warriors at your side.
That's good to hear. And our loyalty shall go both ways. Let us drink.
Let us drink! You will...
Yeah.
yeah, no.
So,
Drunk mom.
you know, while we wine and dine him, you know, I want to get to know my ally a little bit. But somewhere during the conversation, I want to just drop, "Hey, I heard you had a cool axe for me."
Ah, that's right.
A cool axe.
There's been a weapon here meant for your bloodline for some time.
I'm glad you've kept it secret and kept it safe.
But you must go on a quest to retrieve it.
It always seemed wrong for one of our family to use it. I mean, our warriors are more used to fighting beasts that trouble our farmlands than fighting wars against a corrupt king. So, this weapon will be fit for taking back the Blackjaw. He is going to go upstairs. And actually probably not even upstairs, probably downstairs actually.
At least he didn't just pull it from his inventory.
Pull it from his pants. And we'll go to get this for you. He will return with it. A weapon. It is a maul, so it is a great hammer, essentially. The construction.
Open up the breakfast nook.
The weapon at first doesn't look incredibly impressive, but the craft is very fine. The thing that's unique about it is that there are little kind of boreholes that you can see, and he will actually explain. Miners found something during that war, a material completely unbreakable, deep below even where we live, in the crust of the globe. Forged within the center, the heart of this hammer. And this hammer And he like taps it on the table. Is unbreakable and unbreaking. Even the foul creatures that our ancestors defeated in that war could not, even with their most powerful magics, withstand the might of this hammer. It's a kingmaker, Prince Bogdan, and it is yours. And like hold it out.
Bogdan will take it. Look it over.
So it is a maul. It is a maul as opposed to your poleaxe or whatever now. Its ability, which I'll just straight up tell you, you don't need identifier or anything, it's all in the legends. No creature can ever have resistance or immunity to the damage you deal with this.
It's a fuck you button.
It is a bit of a fuck me button that I am giving you.
You're welcome.
There's a joke there, but I'm gonna let it ride. Okay, yeah, sick.
Yeah, he'll even say, he's like, if you want to test it out, we have
Nobody likes Clive.
We've tested it a few times. Even smashed down walls without any kind of issue at all. The Banhammer is a good name. This hammer doesn't have a magical, like a legendary name, so you can call it whatever you want.
Dave.
I think I have a perfect name for it.
Steve.
Coal grinder.
Yeah! Yeah!
That's cool. And then you'll go, coal grinder!
Yeah.
Hey!
And the small gathering in the big room cheers. Will you be needing more men for this war against the king? And will you be taking him on yourself?
Well, the particulars of the reclamation have not been worked out. It is good to know that the Bastardon Fortress and its warriors are ready to call upon you. But first, there are many things we must do, and Coal Grinder shall aid, no doubt. It shall be a symbol of our friendship moving forward.
Unbreaking friendship.
Yeah. Rygar gives an affirming nod and kind of clasps his gauntlets together in agreement. If you have need of our soldiers, they can get to the city within 2 days upon a rush.
Excellent.
Alrighty. Magic
I just
weapon
looked at
get.
chat and they're like, spelling coal is in the name coal. Y'all killing me.
It's a cool name, chat. It's a cool name!
I think I need a room. I didn't sleep well. I did not feel refreshed on the journey.
Well, rooms we can easily grant. Especially to allies of our allies.
Is there a small cot? I have an infant with me.
Can definitely be arranged.
Thank you.
He will leave.
Wait, names.
Whose name are you looking for?
Kachal.
Yes.
Kachal.
Yes.
If you wouldn't mind. Yeah. Okay.
The baby is absorbed into the swarm.
Well,
no,
she
it's
probably
not.
take it back from the child.
Oh, okay. I was trying to work out what you're going for. Yeah, Kachal could be carrying the baby this whole time.
Yeah, and then she's just sort of like gonna be like, "Good night," and sort of just leave.
Do you mean postnatal?
No,
Postpartum. Okay, fair enough. No, I was
postpartum is the separation.
fair enough. Yeah, sorry, I was just double checking.
Same thing, I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
Specifics, semantics.
Spoilers!
You
Can't just read my
were.
notes with the microphone on.
You
I
will.
got it wrong, so I didn't give any spoilers.
You are given guest rooms if you want to use them here. Yours can be prepared first of all, and they would be actually quite large and in charge. It's for allies, because this isn't like you're given tavern rooms. You're given guest rooms in this essentially knightly castle. Basically, it's like a knight's family. They earned this castle during that war. They were given it by Bogdan's ancestor. So
Dope.
you can have a large enough room with space for baby, and
Castle
can...
Denbog.
Nope.
Denbog Senior.
Dad Bog.
Ogdad, actually.
Excuse me. Bogdad was my
Bogdad is
father.
my father.
Yeah. Had to be done. Which kind of leaves the rest of you to do whichever you want for the rest of the day here in the castle.
I think Bogdan's just going to spend the time with Mastodon, you know, getting to know him.
Yeah. Just hanging out.
Just hanging out, yeah. Having a day off, as it were. Got a cool hammer.
What does Bogdan's day off look like?
Drinking.
Drinking.
mostly.
Drinking.
Yeah.
There's occasionally a food break. There would probably be a time where, you know, some of the soldiers come back and he will, like, get them to sort of show you what they can do.
Nuts.
And whatnot.
Cool.
I mean, Bogdan would, you know, he loves the arts, but obviously here in a fortress, he's not expecting that to be a thing. So
No.
drinking. Yeah, drinking and...
There might be some hammer throwing.
Okay,
You know?
yeah.
Yeah, like that's how he shows off the
Cool.
soldiers. It's downstairs is like a hammer throwing, kind of like it's essentially a gun range, but for throwing your hammers.
And then Oshun pokes her head out of the window and goes, I'm trying to sleep!
yeah, you're trying to sleep, and it's just boom.
Yeah, she's sitting there, like, trying to sleep. She's like, is it really necessary for them to throw it at drums?
Has to make a big noise. That's how you know it's cool. Yeah, it's stuff like that. I mean, it's a warrior house, so all the entertainment is very ancient,
Martial.
dwarven, martial
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah. Dope.
I doubt Ashal is getting involved in the ancient dwarven martial
no,
arts.
Do they rope him in?
No. What Ashal is playing the part of the quiet or the silent sort of shadow, the advisor, like behind Bogdan, standing very tall and proper, and occasionally leaning down to provide additional details or
Good throw, sir.
clarifications of things. To try
Occasional sips.
basically to increase Bogdan's aura of
Clout.
leadership.
You got a wingman.
Great.
Also, because Ashal just doesn't get on with this sort of boisterous dwarfishness, so it's just like
Awesome. Day turns to night. Night also has drinking. Eventually, though, whether you pass out in the drinking hall or in the bed they've provided, people will sleep. Ocean, is there anything you wanted to do in the night or the morning?
I think at some point Oshun gives up on trying to sleep and ends up sort of staring at the child, and then probably goes for a walk or something.
With the child? Child seems in a pretty good mood.
Okay, if it's in a good mood,
Gives
then
you
she
a little
probably
cheeky
feels
smile.
secure enough.
Little cheeky chubby face smile.
Aww. Then she probably pick it up.
Walk
Go
around,
for a
you know, the castle, you know. Yeah.
Just sort of point things out and just be like, that's a painting of Lord Denbog the First.
Yeah, and you just make
Okay.
shit up. Doesn't matter. Who gives a shit?
That's his best friend, Steve.
You can be a history check, Ocean.
Yeah.
Not. There's less a what do you know and more
I
what
think
you
you
can
have it.
learn.
There we go.
No. Let's see.
The baby does not give you extra proficiency in history. You see
Darn.
two figures repeatedly on a lot of the paintings and statues. One you can work out is probably the ancestor of Bogdan.
Same nose.
Yeah.
And the eyebrows.
Yeah, exactly, right? The other one beside them, you can't work out who they are. Looks like an advisor figure.
Definitely not an MMR.
No, they are a dwarf.
The conspiracy.
They are a dwarf with a long grey beard and a staff.
Are they like placing their hands on anything, like a book or a globe in the picture, or
They
a
typically,
staff?
they typically have a staff or occasionally a tome. Yeah,
Cool.
it is cool.
After a long time walking, probably go back to the room.
Yeah, of course. What is it you guys want to sort of get doing in the next day, or do you want to start heading back? Do you want to start gathering conversations to have? There's lots of things you could do.
So many people to sip.
I wouldn't mind asking if maybe we can find a good direction to meet the Stillers. You know, if there's like a union or a guild.
Rygar wouldn't know shit. He was like, we brew our own.
Yeah.
We don't get much of the fancy city-made whiskies and things down here. It's too expensive, too far away. We brew stuff ourselves with what we got, sometimes aggregated from the other regions around. Know more about
is
the
there any-
farming folk. I mean, we're a farming fortress outside of it.
Yeah. Have you heard any? I've heard that there are a pest problem of the unnatural variety in Ozian's bounty.
Yeah.
Anything? Any rumors?
Apparently, a giant ate a good deal of their stores. So, come cold season, things will be quite a trouble. And of course, there's the they've got to make enough to send to the city, otherwise they don't get paid and they don't get theirs back. When the farming folk turn to selfishness and they don't send things off to the city, that's when the city gets antsy. Yeah. So, high tension. Not enough to send out, so some of the farming folk are holding up what they have and not sending it out. It's especially with the Teve of another sort, or the folk are not so accommodating with the city as of yet. We've seen some of the King's Guard come down. They don't come around this way though.
Asharo, since we do not know what these Stillers need, but we know what the farmers need, I think we shall stop by the city and gear up for an expedition to Ozian's bounty.
That is a wise choice, my lord.
Lord Bastardon, your hospitality is legendary. Did we have the time, I would stay here for as long as you'd keep us, but we have a lot of work to do, as I'm sure you're aware.
Aye.
Breakfast was lovely, but now we must take our leave.
Safe travels, and may you knock some corrupt heads open.
We'll see. My man Olfast will act as liaison if I am unable to make the journey, should we need your weapons and your men.
Sounds right.
Then I invite Olfast to ride back with us.
Yeah. Back on the beetle. So back to the city?
Yeah. I want to get my armor before we go adventuring.
Hell yeah. Same kind of dealio as before, 4 days roughly back to the city.
I think Oshun would be trying to compose a letter to Cinnabelle, but it keeps sort of just scrunching it up and
Throwing it out the palanquin.
No, that would make a trail to us.
During the journey, I want to perform the ritual to replace my weapon bond
Yes.
of my poleaxe to coal grinder.
Yeah.
That's so cool. I'm so excited for you to have a new weapon to fight things.
No more resistance.
Yeah, literally. So Oshun is trying to pen a letter and it is not working.
She probably also hands the nameless baby back to
Catch Owl.
Catch Owl.
How could you forget a name like that?
And also think to herself, I still haven't named him. And just sort of be like, I think he would be happier to be taken care of by you. I feel like I may be transposing some of my stress a bit too loudly. I
do not believe your species is capable of psychically emanating your stress to your spawn.
Oh, no, not psychically, but, stress hormones and things like that. It feels like it can be picked up on by an empathetic person. And, I mean, if the child has anything from me, they will be quite empathetic and able to pick up on some of what I'm feeling.
And if they have anything from either of them, they will have no empathy at all.
Yes. Well, then that
Malkin will just clear his throat.
Won't it?
I believe that this is a very happy little spawn, regardless.
Yes, regardless of anything I've done. I haven't even named him. Anyway, thank you, Catch Owl. I will be over here, trying to write to Cinnabelle.
I think Ashal would, after that exchange, Ashal would extend telepathy to Ocean some point of the journey, and just the voice if it comes through in your head is, you are distressed.
I think Ocean's instinct, and it might not even be worded, but it's going to be extremely surprised and immediately angry and defensive, almost like you mentally put a hand on her shoulder and she went, bah!
Yeah.
Whapped you. That doesn't mean you're out of the head, but
you would feel that.
A repressed anger. And just please, it would be very good of you to warn time if you could think of that. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. What did you say? I forgot.
You are distressed and clearly angry.
I'm sorry. I'm not. Okay, I'm not inconveniencing you. I'm just disappointed in myself and have to work. I have to be better at what I'm supposed to be doing. I've just got to figure out how to do better.
There is actually a sense of amusement you get over the link of that, and after a few long seconds, the voice continues. That is very much a sentiment that I understand, and that feeling is one that I understand.
I don't mean to offend. I don't quite see how you could understand while I'm failing the most important child of our entire community and also failing at being an emissary of my civilization.
You feel that you feel that your efforts are insufficient. If you just tried harder, all of the issues before you would be solved, that you could overcome these difficulties as they are currently presented. That is a feeling I am familiar with.
Whereas I do feel better for you extending your understanding. There is one thing I think you cannot understand, and that is, I'm ashamed to say, I don't trust myself to hold my child. I don't. He's happy now, but I'm uncomfortable with the idea of even holding him and having him look at me like he did. And I don't think you could understand that.
Well, I understand the feeling of not wanting to hold your child, but I cannot pretend to understand the feelings that you as a mother, such a strange word to me, still have for your youngling. No, I cannot pretend to understand that. But and I cannot pretend to offer you any answers on that front, or any front in particular. I am little more than a ball of anger and hate that is stewed in their own resentment for decades.
You have more attributes than being a ball of anger and hate, Ashal.
And that is... They are coming back or being developed afresh because of things I have experienced on this journey. I will always have them. I will always have this hatred, this anger. I will always be a shell of what perhaps I could have been. I have left it too long untreated. But I would, for all of your foibles, I would not have you lose heart. I would not have you give in to self-loathing and hatred the way I did. And I cannot offer you an answer as to how not to do so. I fell into that trap myself. I do not pretend to have the answers. I am not empathetic like you are. I merely wished you to know that not all of what you are feeling is... You are not alone in much of what you feel. There are people who have no doubt experienced similar. And no matter how long you let it fester, there is a way out on the other side.
There's something wrong with me, Ashal.
There is always something wrong with me too.
You can get back to the city. Yeah. You can get back to the city. Which feels and seems very much the same, although maybe as you pass through a market together, it seems that there's a hint of recognition that there wasn't before. Maybe the occasional bearded whisper, which would be a great username for like COD or something.
It just goes.
Armor first, I imagine.
Armor, hammer.
Yeah.
Your WoW character's just leveled up.
Got my
Finally
endgame
get your
gear.
prestige gear. Yeah.
Yeah.
The chapter 2 gear is complete. Yeah. Yag Sifrout, who is your the young
Isn't
smith.
it?
Oh, thank you. Wipes. Has finished your suit of armor, and it fits perfectly. It is exactly as you wished. It is a suit of plate mail complete, designed in such a way that it does look as if it were made of stone. And in truth, some elements are made of very light layers of stone, but all as well as dwarven steel. It has all sorts of things that an adventurer would need. It also has a full helmet, designed so that the crown can sit basically within the helmet when you wear it as well. It's not something you asked for, but something that the kid recognized of being relevant.
Let there be fan art.
Well, first, probably official art, I'd imagine. But yeah, complete suit of plate, both imposing and unassuming, much like the hammer, actually, in that it doesn't look as terrifying as it is, but if you know, you know, and it still looks impressive. That's kind of a whole design, which is perfect for the somewhat undercover work you're doing. Anything else anyone wants to do in the city before you head off to the farmlands?
We want to get provisions and all that.
Nice.
I don't know how much we need to do on that. But yeah.
Well, going into the heart of the farmlands is going to be probably 2-week travel. 5 silver a ration. And that's only rations. If you want to buy other stuff, I mean, give you a good chance to get some assorted equipment.
Yes, with my 49 GP and 5 silver.
You got 2,000 gold. Wow, you spent most of it.
Yeah.
But,
Whatever y'all want, let me know. We got cheddar.
I mean,
you know, if you
technically,
want some rope, or
technically, I gained a light armor proficiency off Shade.
You should
would it
get
actually
some
improve your
like,
armor? Of course it would.
vibes.
Yeah, I was a sorcerer. I had nothing.
You're just naked.
So technically, like a set of studded leather armor would increase my AC from 10 to 12.
Yeah, and it wouldn't have to necessarily be a suit of armor. It could be, you know, heavy robes and things.
Yes, heavy leather robes or heavy robe. Yeah.
Yeah.
That'd be cool.
I don't know. I think you need some cool shoulder pads.
Well,
I was thinking,
yeah.
like over your cloak. Like
We've got
dress,
Bogdan's
like-
WoW gear, so, you know, we need our Charles, like, high-level
Yeah.
warlock
Oh, yeah, like
sorcerer
a-
gear.
A black hardened leather cuirass with shoulder
Yeah.
pads over your
And
robe.
yeah,
Like-
and with
boobs.
With
dark-
boobs.
and,
with
and dark
boobs!
purples and stuff as well
Yeah.
to match the cloak and robes. Yeah.
Yeah, I imagine that's one of those things where you sort of you patch together multiple things and you can get a suit of Ashal appropriate armor for 45 gold pieces.
Woo.
Done.
Excellent.
is there anything else that I need? Like, I
Aside
already
from
improved
therapy.
stuff. I think I'm okay.
You could stop in at the church.
Definitely no.
I just had a thought. One day, as Charlotte's is gonna have to work out how to like enchant, or is going to have to get a bow enchanted that works off intelligence. Because Shade also gives proficiency of ranged weapons, just so that I have another
God.
option. But that's
So-
that's not.
So
for now.
what you're saying is
So
you
many
want a
puns.
smart bow.
Yes.
Except what he does is he just like uses the smart bow to send like snidey comments on Reddit.
I can imagine you. I don't know.
Like a
my
smart fridge.
image is basically. My image would basically be of like a bow that is specifically designed to channel magical energy to like probably doesn't even need arrows. It's just like a bolt of energy.
They have,
yeah.
they have existed before.
Yeah.
I want to be cool.
But it's not something that like I can afford or have time
You
to
can't be
search
cool, you're depressed.
for. So yes, the armor will do for now.
Oh, I want you to have the cool bow.
Oh yeah, but we can't. That's going to cost.
That is not
million.
something you can buy at
gold.
Walmart.
Yeah, and B, it would
Walmart.
probably take several.
There's two L's. The
Ah.
Walmart.
That wasn't deliberate at first, but
It was pretty good. Ashal just has a Sailor Moon-esque magical girl transformation.
but becomes even more brooding.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm just gonna drop like 50 gold on provisions and shit because I don't
Yeah.
care.
That's
Okay.
good enough. I agree. Good. Done. So, anything else you want to do in the city before heading off to Ozian's Bounty, the farming region of the Deep Dwarves?
How? I mean, it hasn't been that long, but I just want to check in with Stana and see how our investments are going.
Probably with how tumultuous things in the city have been, there's really no... It's kind of neutral right now.
Okay. I think I'm going to give Helenka just like an infusion of gold for the manor.
Yeah.
How much do you think would be good for,
I
just
mean,
keep
she doesn't
bring
need
it up
much
to-
to
up
keep
to
it
code.
running, so like maybe 200 gold just so she doesn't really need to spend it.
Okay.
Like, so just there's money in the coffers to when it's needed to be spent.
Yeah.
Especially with Botov staying here as a base of operations still as well.
Right.
We might actually
Okay.
need more money.
Okay,
Excellent.
200 gold. Done.
Okay. House prepared, beetle prepared, party prepared, towards the bounty.
Baby prepared.
It is actually the beginning of the wet season. When you're traveling down south.
Shit, it sounds deep.
It's still, warm from the warm season, but as you're traveling through the gigantic cavernous space that is Abonir, Ian and Zoe get swallowed by the void, and
But Charlotte and Ocean are fine, right?
yeah, just Ian and Zoe.
Yeah, okay,
The
cool.
players are swallowed, but the rest is
So
fine.
I'm just sitting there and they both get replaced with bots.
That is basically how it works. I don't know if they could hear her.
Well, they haven't responded. That's not good.
Ian, Zoe. It's fine. I was changing music anyway, so I'm happy to take this moment of time. I think their camera died, but it killed everything with it, which has happened
Exciting.
before.
Our NPC that we have slotted in is Catch-All, right?
Unless you want to switch before you leave.
No, Botov is doing his job. And
I imagine
we lost,
you don't want to.
We lost Precious Zal.
You lost Zal, and I imagine you don't want to go and grab Harrenhal.
No, I don't. I think she's burned her usefulness.
After I did her art, for shame. Well, I can tell you that you're traveling through the in the wet season is actually quite a dangerous time to travel because the rain that forms in the clouds is not drinkable. The rain that forms is full of heavy metals. It's largely toxic, although actually not to a dwarf. Poison resistance. Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess that's kind of how the dwarves thrive out here, because the Ebamari are fish people. They've got their own things. The Narashiro sits upon an aquifer and draws upon that water. The deep dwarves just farm. And I guess the poison resistance that the dwarves have, and probably formed from this exposure to this environment, means that they are largely resistant to the toxic rain. It's not so deadly that, you know, those two can't go out in the rain, it's just don't drink it. You could if you needed to. You'd probably still want to purify it. But, interesting little lore tidbit. Put that on the wiki.
Not me, you guys.
No, not me. The great cavernous ceiling is filled with clouds. And the rain is starting. The wet season isn't constantly raining, but it's pretty similar. Well, you know what? Why don't we take a little break while these two work out what the hell is going on? I haven't even heard from them.
Yeah, it just gone
so we'll be
radio silent.
We'll be back in a sec, I think. They have returned to us on this faithful day. I was just telling about the rainy season, which you mostly know. Do not drink the water. It is full of heavy metals. The rain is toxic, although less toxic to the dwarves than it is to the two of you. Yeah?
Heavy metals, epic guitar riffs.
Oh.
Sorry, it wasn't very good, but...
That's cool though, because I've seen like a monsoon season in India and in Japan, and I could just like imagine rainy underground. We'd all probably die.
Yeah. Well, it's part of the reason I was saying. It's the reason why Narashira is where it is, because usurper elves can't handle the rain. The dwarves can. They are used to the toxins. It's probably why deep dwarves are toxin resistant, largely.
Cool.
And their farming regions are largely raised, actually, because of exactly this sort of thing. So yeah, while you're traveling, there would be very carefully made dwarven storm drains in the public roads that are starting to get used as the rain is starting to go down. Especially as you head into Ozian's Bounty after a 2-week journey. This is the farming region that feeds most of the deep dwarves and the city. It has a kind of central hub and then just stretches out in uniform farmland, cottage, farmland, cottage, farmland, cottage. As far as possible, largely. Skirting around lands where farming isn't appropriate, but the deep dwarves don't live on the most fertile land. They make it fertile. There are some areas you're traveling through where it's what's the word I'm looking for? You are seeing people preparing the fallow fields for the next season. And it is largely stony soil that is dug through, where there are dwarves are working. Largely the farming caste, which you haven't really met much of because they live out here. Other members of the farming caste are occasionally goblins. And there are also many people of the labourer caste who are helping ferry things back and forth, pulling wagons and grinding millstones and things like that. The little farming hub of Ozian's Bounty that you travel to is essentially a hub town, and it has several windmills for grinding, you know, fungal flowers and things like that. Some plants have already had their harvest season, though not all. Fungal threads and things have already gone, but
Can I ask, are there like British hedge dividers for these fields?
They might not be hedges because things don't grow here very well, but there would be like probably old stone dividers. Yeah, it's very uniform.
Oh, I really needed an Underrealm hedgehog. Okay.
Maybe there are around there.
Yeah.
They're like little stones.
Underrealm hedgehogs. Those are called naked mole rats.
Yes!
You're right. You got it. You've nailed it. Notably, when you get here, I mean, these are things that, like, as Charles and Bogdan would notice, because Ocean would probably get the feeling of the people and all of that kind of thing. But let's talk about tactics. There are members of the military here, the Church of Maces, and occasionally members of the King's Guard. They are overseeing the harvest, and that the things go where they're meant to go. There is also, on the east side of the town, a granary silo that has been torn open. Like, it's just, like, halved and rickety, and the metal and stone has been pulled and broken. The metal has been scraped open. Any kind of fungal wood elements of it snap.
Did
What do you guys
someone
want to do?
bite this?
It looks like it has been bitten, yeah.
I think we should head to the central, little farming village, right?
Yeah, that's where you are roughly right now.
Oh, that's where we
I
are
would
right now?
imagine that would be where you head to at least start
Okay.
your investigations.
Is there any like town hall or some kind of authority?
There would be a town hall here. Yeah.
Okay.
I am interested to know what help we can offer. If their stores have already been raided, then short of preventing it from happening again, it's not like we can restore the grain,
Well,
mushrooms.
they need a giant killed, no doubt. Perhaps the giant is squirreling it away, or we could find it.
Thanks, Worth.
Either way, with the giant undealt with, this will only happen again. We may not be able to help their current plight, but relieve their future selves.
I hope we can be diplomatic about this. I'm pretty sure giants are sapient.
Is that Bogdan's face just like...
Yeah.
We should, yes. Quite.
Talk about brutalism. The town hall here is exceedingly brutalist. It is...
Janky trapezoid.
It
block.
is a square block building with other square block extensions for when it needed to be extended. It does have gutters and things like that for the rain, but it's just like the beauty of the voice in the city is not here in the same way, right? Do you want to go in the town hall and try and talk to someone of authority?
Something like that. I was planning a bit more stagecraft.
Go ahead. Yeah. What's your plan?
I want to walk to the center of the hall, kind of drop Coal Grinder onto the floor with a thud, and once everybody turns, I say, "I'm Bogdan and I'm here to kill your giant."
There is a hushed silence amongst the people in the hall. There are some of the there is like one member of the King's Guard. There are some of the farming caste here, and there is also, of course, members of the Lawkeeper caste, and one of them will rush up to you, kind of but clipping their cloak together as they do. You are a giant killer. We have need of the giant being slain. The King's Guard have been unwilling or unable to do such a thing.
Such is the rot that holds our land. I'm here in your time of need. Tell me where I might find this giant.
It devoured the silo to the east and rushed to the hills further
And
east.
Jim.
It didn't need anyone. Only the food. So far. We saw it rushing behind the rocky barren hills where nothing grows. Its lair is no doubt in that place. It was a starving, snarling, hungry beast.
Well, Bogdan, it sounds like that's like the issue. There seems to be a clear solution to that. Something's hungry.
Is there anyone who knows those hills?
Well, they all rub at their third eye.
Ugh.
Yeah. Some of the oldest people who've worked on these farms have spent some time hunting, scouting those hills, seeing if anything would grow in that blasted land. You would want to talk to old Ned.
Old Ned it is.
You can find
Thank
him at the tavern.
It's a proper place for old Ned to be.
Yeah.
Next time you see me, it shall be in triumph. Good day.
Thank you, by the way.
Even before this giant is like trying to feed its family.
There's going to be a little family of baby giants that goes bleh into the baby giant's mouth.
That'd be a real shame.
Tears you apart.
Yeah. Don't want to be eaten by like a gaggle of baby giants eating humans. Ugh.
So once we leave the town hall, Ogden will kind of look up at his companions and go, I understand that you are, specifically you, Oshun, are
Hello.
a compassionate individual.
That's
but
me. Compassion.
My people, they need decisive action. And the head of their giant would serve us better than a placated giant in terms of public perception.
Well, I hesitate to counsel where my place is not to counsel necessarily. However, as an act of it's a telling behavior at this point for your future rule. Are you going to be a king who acts solely for the immediate and short-term benefit of your kingdom, or are you going to be a leader who forges bonds with their fellow kingsmen?
I hope to be both, but there is no kingdom of giants.
Well, wouldn't you be powerful if you founded and retained the loyalty of one?
Whose land would they claim? Narashiro's or Abania's?
I am not a king.
Oshun, I understand we are coming at a head, and I hope this is not a crossroad for our relationship, but I'm trying to overthrow the Blackjaw. I don't have time to deal in the nuances of, well, reality. And as for my reign is divine, so surely someone of your backing and standing can understand. I shall do as the voice wills. And if the voice says to raise up the giants, I shall raise up the giants. But I have not heard her speak, and I have a giant to kill. And I hope you will help me. And if not, you can stay here.
Please don't ever feel that our relationship would be put into jeopardy simply for a crossing of opinion. I only
Glad to hear.
want to extend fellow minds and counsel or advise as a friend that taking a blunt instrument to a delicate point in your turning, I hope it does not come back to find you.
I appreciate your concern. But this route we are on, this path we have charted, it will be a bloody one. This giant's blood will be the least of our concerns. I will tell you what. I shall consider your words. But we will go with the assumption that it is to slay the giant. And if a better option emerges, one that plays both to your compassion and to our goal, we will pursue that. Is that agreeable? Excellent. We have to go talk to old Ned.
How old is Ned?
Oh,
he's
he's
old.
pretty old.
Old as balls.
Old
Yeah, an
war
old
in the
country
land.
man.
Yeah, an old country dwarf. Beard trailing onto the floor. Sitting in the outside area of the tavern. It's mostly outside. With a mug and a big hat. protect from the rain and the aether light trickling down from above. There is no banjo, but there once was.
Is there a longing in his eyes for the bump for the banjo of
There's
days
longing in his
yore?
eyes for more beer to be in his mug.
That we can provide.
Rain falls through the rush mat roof and dampens the sleeve. I can't remember it. It's a classic Japanese poem that's like Shakespearean, and it's of course the rush mat roof. I can't remember it.
Is Old Ned in
Anyway.
the old Japanese poem? So Old Ned's an
Yes.
original character. I don't want to be stolen by no ancient Japanese poet.
Original OC, do not steal.
I will
Yeah,
check
everyone
the
was
time
Ned.
crime. Yeah, Old Ned will notice you approach, kind of raise his hat,
Shit, he's old.
suck on his tooth. You hear about the giant? I know that. I know the bloodthirsty look of a dragon killer, giant killer.
Canon.
Yeah, he's gone.
Oh.
Back in my
Back
day.
in my day, I killed a giant weaver
giants.
dragon, and the dragon was my friend. That was the way of the time.
Oh, I literally heard someone talk like this on the bus.
Well, of course, on the bus, people. This is where, if there was a bus, Old Ned would be on the bus.
You know, my great grandpa was an old Texas farmer, and he sounded like Boomhauer from King of the
That
Hill.
was the other route I could have gone, but I've already got that with both of sometimes.
Yeah.
This is his grandfather.
Yeah.
We don't talk about Grandpa.
The deep lore of Botov.
He sends scones. They're good.
Oh, I love scones. What do you say to Old Ned?
Yes, we were told that you may be able to give us some insight into the hills in which he ran.
The blasted hills try to grow things upon those hills for the entirety of my voice-damned life. Slams the mug. Nothing will grow.
Blasphemy.
Only things that will grow out there are monsters.
So aside from the giant, what else is out there?
I have seen creatures, hungry creatures, of foul stench that live in amongst the stones. They're loose, and they dig their way out.
Oh, don't listen to old Ned. He's crazy.
Yeah. There's the big ones, and then there's the small ones. Now I wouldn't be surprised if they would ignore each
Middle
other.
ones as well.
medium ones. And they're
You gotta watch out for them average
Ned.
ones.
The average ones are the scariest ones of all.
And they're coming when old Ned's asleep, and Ned knows stay there.
You see a giant like that. I saw it! My one good eye.
He points to his forehead.
He doesn't have a forehead one. He's a farmer
Aw.
dwarf, which means his beard has spines growing out of it. Farmer caste dwarves have spikes on their skin.
Nice.
To stop them getting eaten by the beasties out in the fields.
I thought they used them to fight each other for mates.
Well, sometimes. Yeah, it has been known. Old Ned mated many a time in his old life. That giant was so hungry. It gave it supernatural strength.
You know, the strength that hungry people
The strength
get.
that only a hungry man
The
can have.
strength of 100 giants.
He was the giant.
this starved giant that's thin, and he's just like, ah, so strong. You just push it over.
How many giants do you think are over there?
Oh, just the one that attacked the town. There were more. They weren't working together. No, just one. Just one. All a little lonesome. There do be giants that live far to the east. But they don't trouble us. They keep to their beasties. They eat what they can. They don't bother us.
And he's like, it's beautiful, really.
They live free of the corrupt government that we live upon with here in Avernire.
They gamble through the glen.
Have you ever seen
Natural.
the sight of a naked hill giant woman? Tits flapping in the breeze.
Bathing in the hot springs.
Bathing in the hot snows.
One once took me to her bosom.
Nearly made one my wife once.
But she couldn't understand me.
We were too different. We were from two different worlds.
She wanted to be on top.
Here was me just going to make a comment about the giants being free range.
I can't wait to. I can't wait to see the old Ned prequel.
In the campaign. Young Ned. Jarviskjir, young Ned.
Oh my god.
And his giantess girlfriend.
Oh my god.
So suffice to say, I don't know much about that giant. If I did, I would tell you.
You old Ned. I put a gold down arm of his chair. Refill your drink for us.
Pour,
He bites
pour
it.
off the gold on.
All right. Well, we have one incredibly strong yet malnourished giant.
I'm staying with old Ned. So many stories. So much wisdom.
So much delusion. Yeah.
Okay, let's get on with the game. We're playing a game. That's what we're doing.
Well, with knowledge about the giant and ready to go on a giant hunting expedition.
Images.
With genuine, real, giant facts. He shows you a blurry Polaroid. I saw it in the walking around.
True facts about the giant.
True
Have you ever seen that
facts
YouTube
about the
channel?
giant.
True facts about the cuttlefish.
But first, the giant
That's
bebes
fine.
feed on the larger giant. Yeah. With all of that, with genuine giant facts from this hill giant truther, you can be ready for the next session next week, where you go on a giant hunting expedition or a giant friend making expedition. Who knows? We know.
Hammer go smash.
Hammer go smash.
Hammer friendship.
Hmm? Yeah, I'm making friends.
The hammer doesn't give friendship-based powers. The hammer smash.
Like, genuinely from your description, I know it's not the case, but the image of it is like a white, big, like, Asgardian hammer.
Yeah.
But for some reason it has like a little heart on it. I
It
don't know
doesn't
why.
have a
It's just
heart.
mental image.
It does.
Yes, it does.
No, that's for when
My
we have the card
imagination.
game and you can buy Bogdan's magical girl skin. Or you can get it from the gacha in the card game.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I
now
really
I'm
think
just
that you
thinking
put
of
a comma where there shouldn't have been a comma.
I'm thinking of
magical
Jonathan
girl
Frakes coming
skin.
down the stairs, going, "Have you ever seen a naked giantess glistening in the sun?"
Oh, it's a good reference. Well, that's today's session. officially ending.
It will never end for me. I will always carry this with me.
Part of old Ned will be with you forever more, a little bit.
You'll forget important things like your child's first steps, but old Ned,
And name.
that's a core memory.
Put that in the wiki. Well, we're done today, but there will be more. Before we go, why don't we talk a little bit about ourselves and the projects of which we have going on, starting with Jacob.
Hi, everybody. I'm Jacob. You can find me over at twitch.tv/JakeandZol, which I think you can just click on my name here.
Yeah.
I don't know how it works.
Yeah.
Every Sunday, I run, I should probably put a heavy asterisk on this following statement. Every Sunday, I run my own role-playing game show called Dire Roll with a cast of cool people, including my wife. And we are getting ready for our 5th official campaign that we'll be live streaming. We just need one thing to announce it, and that is for one of our players to get well because he is unwell. We're just waiting on that. And so if you want to see that, and if you are interested, this is going to be a very obscure clue as to what we're doing. But this is my father's Advanced Dungeons and Dragons Monster Manual.
I recognize that art. That's the classic shit.
Holy shit. That's beautiful.
Oh, it is? I mean, the more you look at it, the less beautiful it really is.
Yeah, it's
beautiful in that jank way.
Yeah. It's iconic.
Yeah. Definitely. So what game system we're playing involves that in some way, and that's all I'm going to say. We're really excited. If one of our party members hadn't fallen ill, we would have already started. So yeah, and as always, thanks to Ollie for having me on. It's a blast.
Though the blast will be next week when you decide the best way to hunt the giant is dynamite. Old Ned's got a connection.
Thank God for old Ned.
Is to romance the giant. I mean, come on. What have we learned?
Okay.
Well, trying to romance Harrenhal hasn't worked out yet, but you can always try again. Oh no. Ian and Zoe! It's your turn.
Hi, I'm Ian. I'm
Zoe.
approximately 75% asleep at this point. That was a good session. If you want more good sessions, subscribe to Ollie's Patreon for $5 a month, where on Monday we played the Waters of Tron campaign for the first time in about 4 weeks. Just circumstances delayed it. It just put off several weeks in a row, completely unrelated instances. But life basically. Yeah. So that's a lot of fun. There is also a bi-weekly Pokemon game that is on the Patreon on Tuesdays. If you want to find out why Lightning and myself were referencing corrupt governments in chat.
You weren't just referencing our own lives.
It's always a relevant reference in D&D, but there are a lot of good jokes about that on the Return to Hoenn campaign on Patreon. $5 a month as well.
I'm gonna listen to that while going to sleep tonight.
Oh, am I adding that to your phone before I sleep? Okay.
More work for you.
Yes, that's my spiel.
In
Over to you.
In the States, we call that a honeydew.
Isn't that a melon?
Yes.
Different spelling. A honeydew is when the wife says, honey, do X. Honeydew. Yeah.
That's cute.
That's Ian saying that to me because
I don't know if that's a state thing or just a South thing.
That I forget
I think that's a South thing. I think we could all immediately realize that that's a South thing.
That's a South thing, but I'm South, so.
Yeah, it's cool. I like that. Well, I don't know if cool is the right term. Zoe.
It me. I'm the writer with Ollie for Schism. So many exciting things. It's September. It's September. And so time has passed, and that means that we should be getting closer to the things that we want to be and do.
Yes.
I'm tired too.
Yeah, that's why I broke out old Ned. I was going to bring out young Ned, the adventurer of tons of very important lore, but I think we needed old Ned then. Yeah.
I'm just imagining him like age and de-age at will from like a higher power, and he's like, oh no!
Dr. Jackal, Mr. Hyde kind of thing.
Yep.
Yes, we have Schism coming out soonish. We have other projects as well, both on my channel and on Arcanist Entertainment or Arcanist Entertainment Projects. I am doing a lot of things on Patreon. If you'd like to show support it on Patreon, $1 a month you get access to sketches and all that sort of thing. $3 a month you get access to booby sketches. And $5 a month you get access for the other shows. There are a lot of boobalicious sketches going on right now. I've got a lot of plans. I just need working hands. Well,
That's not so that Ollie can draw. That's so that Ollie can feel the bows.
No! I'm gonna say goodbye. I think the show's gonna end now. That's
We've
it.
gone into
Get out
a
of here.
sin town.
No.
When I'm making the dirty jokes, that's when you know you've gone too far.